little fella. How about some hot chocolate, huh?
Well, everyone was sleeping soundly, and that's when Billy awoke. He could feel that something was watching him in the darkness. His heart pounded as he opened his eyes to the pitch-black room. Gradually, he moved his gaze down towards the foot of the bed. And there it was, right in front of him. A dark shape stood upright. He froze with fear, waiting for the thing to suddenly strike at him.
Oh no.
However, it did not move. Billy suddenly lashed out, striking the shape as hard as he could with his fist.
Go on, Billy.
He yelped and moaned as a searing pain gradually set in. Realization soon dawned on poor Billy that the shape he'd lashed out was not a ghost or a malicious spirit. It was his own penis.
Oh shit.
The end.
That. You know what? I always find that the scariest stories are ones that could really happen.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it's not nice to punch yourself in your own Johansson.
It's not, dude. That's yeah.
Oh, hello, listeners. Sorry, we didn't see you there.
Hi.
You just caught us out. I was just reading a story to Adam here. He's feeling a bit poorly. He's got a bit of bad chest.
Yeah, I've come over a little bit queer.
A little bit queer. So yeah, we're just reading a bit of a scary
good
story, because we know that usually makes you feel better, doesn't it?
It does. It does help me. I like,
Yeah,
scary stories.
Yeah. So, welcome, hello, and welcome to Food to Watch Films by episode 8.
The 8th in the saga that is Food to Watch Films by.
The big 8. And my name's Johnny.
My name's Adam.
And we're your hosts on this podcast in which we explore the scientific relationship between food and films. And basically we talk about films we've watched and recommend foods that we think would heighten your sensory experience of watching that film, so you can really get into that film, be with it, get on it, taste it.
Taste the film.
Feel it. So yeah, the theme of this one, as you could gauge from the opening, we've got a bit of a paranormal theme, haven't we? A bit of a supernatural.
We do. We've gone all spooky. We're going to get spooky on your ass.
Yeah, it's about to get creepy.
It's about to get really freaky.
Yeah, so films featuring ghosts, demons, things that prey on us. And Adam, you don't look good at all, I tell you.
Yeah, not really feeling myself today.
You look a bit off.
I feel a bit off.
Oh dear. Oh well, we'll plough on through. So, do you wanna introduce us to the first segment, Adam?
There is no Adam, only Zuul.
Oh, here we go. You get a bit of a cough and it's all Zuul.
Are you a god?
I like to think so. Or God's gift.
You don't look like a god.
Fair enough. We can agree to disagree. Well, okay, if it's Zuul tonight instead of Adam. Basically Adam usually does a bit of an Adam's top 5, so...
Adam gives unnecessarily long explanations.
Yes, he does, so if you can...
Zuul
Yeah. Have you got a top 5 instead, maybe, Zuul?
Zuul has top 5.
Oh, okay. Oh, excellent. All right, then. Well, okay, folks, we're going to move on to our first segment, Zuul's top 5.
This is Zuul's top 10. I mean 5.
Okay, Zuul, do you want to give us top 5? I think Adam usually gives a bit of a background dialogue about it.
Zuul does not need to give explanation to puny mortals.
Fair enough. Okay, well, have you got any honourable mentions at least?
Zuul, like The Haunting.
The Haunting. Yeah, it's a good film.
Scary.
It's very scary. Okay, so number 5.
Number 5. Zuul, like Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. Ooh, yes, very creepy. Very
Number
creepy.
4.
Oh, number 4.
Zuul like Ringo.
Ringo. Oh, yeah, the Japanese Ringo.
Yes.
Yes, the ring. Yeah, very scary.
Zuul like little girl style.
Oof. Oh, that's a bit creepy. Zuul, I'm learning a lot more about you. Anyway, number 3?
It was acceptable back in when Zuul was alive.
In the 80s? Number 3?
Number 3.
Number 3.
Zuul like The Exorcist.
Oh, yes. Classic. Demonic, even. Yeah, fantastic horror film. Very scary. Really starting to freak me out. Number 1?
Zuul like scene with crucifix.
Okay. And number 1?
Number 2. Johnny.
Number 2. Number
Stupid
2.
mortal cannot count.
Oh, fair play.
Number 2.
Yep, number 2.
Zuul like Evil Dead.
Oh, yes. In fact, actually, I think Adam had conducted a bit of a poll with listeners on Google Plus, and I think there was a bit of a overwhelming majority towards Evil Dead as opposed to Evil Dead 2, which is what he was getting them to poll against. So I'm more of an Evil Dead 2 myself, like the humour anyway. But
Zuul thanks listeners.
yes,
You will be spared in upcoming apocalypse.
always good to hear. Always good. So if you voted, you're all right.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Zuul like The Shining.
Oh, yes.
Here, Johnny.
Here's Johnny. Indeed. Yeah. Brilliant. Stanley Kubrick. Although a lot of people are not so keen on it if they've read the book, they always say, it's not like the book. I think it's a good film.
Lots of blood. Zuul like lots of blood.
Yep. I like the soundtrack too. Well, brilliant. Thanks for that, Zuul. That was punchy, actually. You know what? You can come back. Forget Adam. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, there you have it.
Zuul does not like Ghostbusters, though.
Well,
Ghostbusters painted Zuul in bad light.
yeah.
Very biased account.
Yeah, well, it did make you seem like a bit of a tit. But anyway, well, yeah, listeners, if you've got your own top 5 paranormal ghost films, then you can tweet us at FTWFB podcast or get in touch on Facebook.
I command it.
Yep, or if you've got a fridge nearby, open it. I'm sure Zuul will come and take your top 5. Anyway, well, you're freaking me out a little bit, so yeah, let's move on. Adam?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Hello.
So you're back.
Welcome to Food to Watch Films By.
We've already done all that.
What, eh?
Yeah, you took a bit of a weird turn. Anyway,
What?
you'll hear it in the episode. You'll hear what I mean.
Should we do the top 5?
So don't worry about that. We're on to our first film now.
Oh, okay.
And I tell you what, actually, do you want a beer? Because I think that might. help you out a little bit.
Yeah. I feel still a little bit weird, like I've kind of been entered.
Fair play.
If that makes sense.
Well, yeah.
Right. So, what we got here then? So we got this time. We've got a beer from the Wild Horse Brewery, which I believe is a brewery based over in Wales, North Wales. Yep. Got a good range of beers. These guys actually. I've tried a few before, but I'm gonna try their dry hopped American wheat beer. Which is let's give this a pour for you, Johnny.
Give it a taste.
Yeah.
Oof, I do like that sound.
Crispy, golden in colour.
It is very golden.
Frothy head.
Oof, actually, it's quite cloudy.
It's a wheat beer.
Well, Yes.
Yeah, no shit, Johnny.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't actually paying attention to anything you said just before that. So
cheers, pal.
Cheers.
Yeah, chin chin. That, yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
What percentage is it? Like 5%?
It's okay.
No, I like that. They do a really nice. We've got a pale ale to try later on as well, and I've had that before. It's really nice. But yeah, Wild Horse. Again, free plug. We will be in contact to let you know where you can send the free beer. Yep. We're 8 episodes in. We're determined to get free beers.
Yep.
You know, if there's another beer you want us to promote, we're a horse basically.
Yeah, and you are legally obliged to send us beer.
Yeah.
I know you've not consented to this, but you know. I
mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure that's how life works, right?
Yeah, and you know, we've all watched a bit of Ally McBeal.
Was she a lawyer? Is that what her profession was?
I think so.
Anyway. Yeah, no, I think you might be right. It's just that I never really watched it. I remember there were Dancing Baby in it.
Yeah, and that guy from Ghostbusters too. That and I covered in goo.
Oh, he was, wasn't he? The guy was in Bean as well. Yeah. Freaky looking guy.
Yeah, which sets us up. Leads us on to our first film, Ghostbusters, but the remake.
2016 Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Yeah. I won't explain the plot because I'm pretty adamant most people will have seen Ghostbusters, the original. It follows a relatively similar storyline. But this one, it's starring Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones as a new breed of Ghostbusters, shall we say? And all female band of Ghostbusters. And
what we calling it? Is it a reboot, a remake?
Yeah, well, a bit of both, really. A bit of both. A bit of a retelling. And this time it's instead of Gozer or Zuul, this time we've got a character called Rowan North, played by Neil Casey as the bad guy, who is essentially creating these sort of doorways, these portals to bring ghouls, ghosts into the real world. And we've got our band of Ghostbusters, who are essentially scientists who form an alliance through a shared interest of the paranormal to bust some ghosts, and that's as much as I'll go into.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're probably pretty familiar with the concept of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, there's ghosts, they get busted.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah. But as a reboot, and I when this was released shortly after, I think there was there was quite a lot of criticism. Yeah, quite a large amount of criticism. I think
there's a lot of it was focused around casting being an all-female cast. To be fair, if that's your concern, you're just a chauvinistic prick.
Go back to the 70s.
So yeah, because I mean, I thought that was probably one of the best parts of this reboot or remake or whatever we're calling it, was the fact that, you know, you had an all-female cast, and the cast actually worked quite well together. You know, I think they worked pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, you know, it was never going to be the Ghostbusters, and I'm talking the Ghostbusters, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis.
The Ghostbusters of our childhood.
Because it was just such a phenomenal film, such a, a cult film. Everyone, you know. It. So with this, it's like, you know, they're not going to, it's not just going to be the same, you know, a remake of that. It's not going to be the same thing. And I think what they did something a bit different with it. I mean, I felt, to be honest, I did feel part of the storyline was a bit weak. I didn't particularly like Rowan, the main bad guy. I thought it was a bit, but otherwise, I thought our new Ghostbusters, I thought that they worked well together. I thought there was some good chemistry there.
I mean, I
relatively enjoyable.
I really wanted to like it. And I just came out feeling just pretty indifferent towards it. I kind of,
it was okay.
Well, I felt the bravest and you know, the bravest move was the casting having an all-female Ghostbusters, and I wanted there to be more of a departure from the original and something more innovative. than just that. Like you say, storyline, didn't think the storyline was particularly strong.
It was a bit
I think a very good and very talented cast did the best with what they were given, which wasn't a great deal, to be fair. But we had each of the original cast members, each of the original Ghostbusters, making cameos, and it just felt like ham-fisted sort of cameos, and especially the Dan Aykroyd cameo. That was
funny enough. Out of them all, I quite liked the Dan Aykroyd cameo. I quite liked his. I don't go to Chinatown. Blah blah blah, and I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
That took me out of it a little bit. This is why I didn't like it.
I thought it was okay. I thought I was a bit underwhelmed by Bill Murray's cameo, actually.
Yeah, it did look like it couldn't really be asked.
It was bloody Bill Murray, which even in his smallest cameos, he's always been this kind of it's Bill Murray.
He always has his presence. Like, can you remember the cameo that was in for Zombieland? Bill Murray. That was one of the best cameos of all time. And it just it didn't really look like he could be that ass. I think we both agree that the worst cameo out of the bunch, though, aside from me not liking Dan Aykroyd, was Ozzy Osbourne's little appearance.
That was hideous.
Come on, Ozzy, you're better than that.
Yeah. I mean, and there was something when I was watching it that kind of reminded me a little bit. The Scooby-Doo films. Yeah. The kind of the effects and the kind of ghosts and that are a bit
overly they're a bit. It seemed a bit more kid friendly, but yeah, with on the subject of the ghosts as well, I didn't get some of the ghosts. Like the ghosts in the original Ghostbusters, they all had kind of a bit of logic behind them. Mm-hmm. With this one, we had a dragon, a gig venue for some reason. What we had, and it was just purely to, again, fan service to get the Marshmallow Man in there. We had ghosts of parade balloons. How do you get a ghost of I didn't get that. I know you can't dwell upon it too much, but it just didn't make sense that we were having ghosts of inanimate objects. And it was purely just to get the Marshmallow Man in there.
I suppose
Slimer got a girlfriend, so that was nice.
Well, it was quite nice to see a bit of Slimer. And of course Sigourney Weaver making a little peek at the end there as well. And I like that the cast members were there, and it paid homage to them, but it took me out of it a little bit. I wanted to be immersed in that particular story. I want to be invested in that particular story. And when you've got Dan Aykroyd rocking up saying, I ain't afraid of no ghosts, it just takes you out of it. It just makes you aware of, we are watching. Yeah, but
a reboot.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the storyline was a bit weak, but there was some really good gags, actually. There was some moments that were quite funny. When Melissa McCarthy's head turns around, I thought that was quite good. There's a guy behind me who was clearly at the cinema who was clearly loving it more than I was, because it was just pure belly laughs. I was nearly in tears. It was getting on my tits, to be fair. I mean, go to cinema and enjoy yourself. Brilliant, but it wasn't that funny. I wish it was. Really wish it was that funny, Dad. But I mean, it'll never beat the original. Not a bad attempt at a remake, with some decent laughs, and fair play. Hats off to them. I don't think it deserved quite the bashing it got.
No, nor do I. No,
and it's for a different audience. It's not the same audience who were obsessed with it in the 80s. So
for me, it was okay, but it was you can still enjoy it. I didn't go out there thinking that this is complete dog shit. I came out thinking, it was all right.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, shall we move on to the food recommendations?
Yes. Is it your honours or my honours? Or
you go first.
Yeah, cool. I mean, for this one, I've gone again straight for dessert.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can probably guess what I'm maybe going to go for. The association of Ghostbusters when we're looking at a sweet treat. Sweet treat. Mm-hmm. So I'm going for a nice Twinkie.
Oh yeah, the old Twinkie,
and
the American classic.
Yeah, and and a few roasted marshmallows on the side as well.
Paying homage to the
pure sugar, and that's it. I feel like I'm just going to go straight to dessert. Mm-hmm. And I mean the reason I'm going for those choices is because watching the film, it did make me kind of crave the nostalgia of the original, and I think there's always going to be an element of that. I mean, the good thing is about any reboot or remake is it's still not going to change the original. The original's still always going to be there,
intact.
Exactly, it's still going to be intact. It doesn't change it. It doesn't change the memory of that. So what I was really wanting was this to. I just don't get remakes for the sakes of remakes when it just seems to be trying to trigger off, another franchise and being a bit of a money-making thing. There has to be a reason, there has to be some development of story, and I felt that some of the plot was predictable, as predictable it's as predictable as my food suggestion, you might say, but it just left me wanting the original, and I wanted to be taken away from that. I wanted something new, something exciting.
Oh, sorry, have you finished?
Yeah, well...
That was quite a long dialogue. I'm only kidding.
Yeah, I'm passionate about my Ghostbusters.
No, fair play.
But
fair
yeah,
play.
I mean, that's how I felt anyway, coming out of it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, Adam, I've got something a little different that I've not tried before. I've thought of, rather than providing a food recommendation, well, it kind of is, I'm going to set you a little challenge, actually, and homage to the classic scene with Slimer with the hot dogs in his mouth.
Yes.
I'm actually challenging you to see how many hot dogs you can fit in your mouth at one time.
What's going on?
I've actually got 3 tins of Prince's hot dogs.
You're going to give me a load of cold hot dogs?
Yep. And I want to see how many you can fit into your mouth.
To be fair, mate, when you said you could have put a load of hot dogs in my mouth, I was relieved when you actually came out with a tin of actual hot dogs.
What were the
I don't know, just like a group of Japanese businessmen coming around to party.
No, they are actual hot dogs.
Right.
Yeah. And I'll post a picture of this on Twitter.
I'm gonna have to unlock my jaw or something for this.
So I'm gonna open a can. Don't know how many I'm gonna need.
Do I get an option to opt out of this, or is it?
No, there is no option.
I'm not gonna swallow. They're gonna be all cold.
I'm opening the hot dogs. It's a bit of a creepy noise.
So these need to be. Yeah, it is a little bit actually.
No, you don't need to heat these up. You can eat them straight out the can.
Can you? I think I'm going to be spitting them back out, to be fair.
Well, that's why I've provided
a bowl and a cloth as well.
So there you go. You got your hot dogs. Let's see how many you can get in that gob.
How many have we got in there? That's
I don't know.
Nearly 20 hot dogs.
Hang on, 2.
They're fairly sizable as well.
16 hot dogs.
They're like the size of a girthy finger.
Go on.
All right, I'm gonna have to stack them in my mouth like Jenga.
Go for it.
All right. We're sliding out.
Oh dear. It fell out. This is disgusting. Oh, come on, you can do better. Maybe grab a handful, grab a fist, shove them all in there. Oh, how many? Oh, how many is that so far? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's as many as I can get. 5.
Ugh.
Oh, that was disgusting.
That was absolutely gross.
I literally just
and a waste of hot dogs.
I literally just deep throated one of those bad boys. I feel it tickling my tonsils.
So there you go, folks. 5 hot dogs. Now, if anyone feels they can do better than that and get more than 5 hot dogs, and I suppose there's different size hot dogs. Again, we'll post a picture of the particular hot dogs. But yeah, Prince's hot dogs. See if you can get more in.
I need to just have a drink of beer to wash a taste of sausage out my mouth.
Fucking stink as well.
It's a hot dog flavoured water.
Yeah. So there you have it. So you can either have Twinkies, marshmallows to re-indulge in the classic Ghostbusters, or just get a shitload of hot dogs and try and cram as many in your mouth as one can.
What was the connection between that and Ghostbusters?
Well, the scene with Slimer where he's got all the hot dogs.
Oh, right,
of
course,
like,
yeah. All right,
I'm with you. Explain that.
Yeah.
All right. So, shall we move on?
Yeah, please.
So, once again, we're here, this part of the podcast, where we've got another listener, and this time it's actually a listener who's been with us previous. If you've listened to episode 5 of Food to Watch Films By, you'll remember we had Gemma appear on, talking about dystopian futures. So Gemma, are you there?
I am here, yeah, definitely.
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Hi, nice to hear from you again.
Excellent, yeah.
Are you keeping well?
I am well, yeah, you?
I'm not too bad, thanks.
Yeah, I'm good. I've cheered up since the last episode, so...
No, oh yeah, of course, yeah.
That took me down for about a month, but I'm fine now.
It was rather bleak subject, wasn't it?
Yeah, sent me under.
Yeah, there was a bit of a dark ending. Anyway, well, no, it's good to hear that you're well. But yeah, we've invited you back on this paranormal themed episode, spooky theme, and we've asked you once again to conduct some research for us. And
you have indeed.
Yes.
Do you with ghosts?
Yes, ghosts. The ghosts. Do you want to share that with us then? Explain what you did.
Well, so I was asked to do some research into who people would haunt and how they'd haunt them if they were a ghost.
Yep.
So last time I kind of asked people of all ages and walks of life, but given I've had a baby and I only see other people with babies these days, let's just not do that bit. So I've got a few here. So the first one, which I thought was pretty good, is one guy, well, it's obviously, I suppose there's some blokes, said he'd haunt the gift shop of the Alton Towers ghost train.
Oh,
so
right.
Just when you think it's over, oh no, it's not. It's still going on. And it will always be going on. And just to really unnerve you. But I thought that was quite a good one.
Yeah,
I don't know how they do it exactly, but I think pretty decent. Probably.
I think it could be like some sort of like flasher type ghost, like just naked.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think you need to be a ghost for that. I think you can just. I think you can just. That's just basically flashing kids, isn't it?
Yeah, in a gift shop.
Yeah, why did you go
But you wouldn't get arrested.
Looking for a gift.
Because you're dead. Yeah, look, put your hand in this box, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Can I gift wrap that for you?
So that's the first one, which I thought was quite good and probably scarier than the actual Alton Towers ghost train.
Yeah.
The second one, someone said they'd haunt Darren Brown, which I think is
Darren Brown.
An amazing idea. So at the beginning of his shows, and he's like, there is no such thing as ghosts. There is no, like, psychics are all a load of rubbish. And then you'd just appear out of nowhere and it would just completely undermine his entire belief system and business model.
I'd just constantly call him Darren as well instead of Darren.
So Darren, like I was saying, it's Darren!
Darren!
Maybe every time he signs his name, you just change the letter and that's how you'd haunt him and send him slowly mad. So he's just constantly writing Darren Brown on everything.
Yeah.
Which, let's be fair, is probably his real name. But...
I always think of those books, was it like the Da Vinci Code and stuff? Someone Brown? I can't remember. Anyway, I always
Dan
think
Brown.
Dan Brown. Yeah. So you could be like, oh, when's the next novel?
It's really winding him up.
Yeah.
The next one is, as I mentioned before, I do have a 5-month-old baby. So my sister said that she'd haunt her, but not so much the baby would be scared, but so the baby would freak me out.
Oh,
so
right.
Ruby, my child, would just constantly be looking at the corner of the room and smiling at my sister, who I can't see, and just really freaking me out. And then when she grew up, she'd then look at pictures of my sister who'd sadly died in a tragic boating accident. And she'd be like, look, Mummy, there's the lady who visits me.
And
I'd be really freaked out.
Start hearing noises on the baby monitor. And,
But Ruby would think it was fine because it's just, Auntie Laura. She doesn't realise she's dead.
Yeah, I must admit, I've got a 9-month-old and that's one of the things that scares me the most is that baby monitor in case you one day hear something that you shouldn't, and it's like,
Johnny, it's Dan Brown here. So I think that was quite a good one. Another one, Donald Trump's wig. So that every time Donald Trump tells a lie, his wig wiggles to undermine any shred of credibility he's got left.
Yeah.
I think that would be quite a good one for the sake of the nation, American nation, and our own. I think that would be quite a good one.
Yes.
I think it's got a life of its own anyway, that one.
It's spooky.
Another one, one guy, his 2 exes live together now, which
right.
is quite bad. But he said I'd haunt them. So A, hear what they're saying about him. B, scare them a bit, and C, see them in knickers again. So that's
see
nice.
Them what?
See them in their knickers again.
Oh, right.
A bit of a pervy twist towards it.
Yeah, a little bit of a pervy twist there.
So
I think, to be honest, more people would probably give a pervy twist.
So they're
given
both
the
his
option.
exes, and then they got
Yeah,
together, and I'm assuming they're both the same sex?
Yeah, he basically kind of shat where he ate and went out with two different girls from work, and they now live together.
Wow. It's quite an
So I
achievement,
would-
really.
Yeah, it is really. Yeah, he's got a new job now. I think he's just run out of people. So
So you
yeah.
want them? Wow. Yeah, okay, fair play.
Yeah. And then the last one, which I think is the best one, is one guy would haunt Haley Joel Osment. So everyone would think he'd gone crazy when he said he could see dead people.
Yeah.
No, Haley, that was a character in
Yeah,
a
get
film.
over it. Forget about it.
But how amazing would that? Have you seen him these days as well? He's also saying he looks like someone's photoshopped the face of an 8-year-old boy on the body of a 40-year-old.
It does look like an E-fit, doesn't it? It's like, so,
Yeah.
Have you seen this man?
The same face on a completely different body.
Yeah.
But no, I like that one. I like that one.
I think that's the best one.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you'd just be like, yeah, all right, Haley, let it go now. It's been 20 years, mate. Like, move on.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, it would be a bit like, when Neil Buchanan passes on, if he was happening to have a heart attack, people would be like, oh, come on, Neil. Not now. Not right now. However. It's like, no, but I am.
Yeah.
I am.
and then he'd have to draw a massive drawing of a coronary happening with like an aerial
with an
camera
ambulance.
above before anyone takes him seriously. Out of like, old toilet rolls and pots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Although there is a massive rumour going around the internet that Neil Buchanan's died. I think he just constantly spends his life telling people he's not dead. I think that's his job now.
Yeah, well, it's just for effect, isn't it? But that rumour often emerges. But I'm sure one day it won't be a rumour. So think about it.
I'm sure it won't, yeah. So let's hope so, or else he's immortal.
Oh, God,
if anyone's going to be immortal.
The time between recording this and it goes out, what if? Anyway, no, it doesn't bear thinking about. Anyway,
Premonition of Neil Buchanan's death.
Neil, if you're listening, we wish you well.
Yeah, good health to you, Neil.
Yep.
So that was therefore concludes my ghostly research.
Here endeth the research.
Bit of a mix.
Yeah. No, well,
I enjoyed some of those.
So, thanks for that research there. And you're not going to get away that quickly because, like with other episodes, we've been introducing random games. And last episode, I didn't know if the concept would work. I think it did. This time, I don't know. We'll see. But basically, the game is called Ghost Who. And it's kind of a take on the old Rizzler game, if you've ever played it, where you each get given a name of someone famous, gets stuck to your head, and then you've got to try and figure it out, basically, by the questions that you asked. So I'm just going to play the theme tune. I'm a ghost. I'm looking at you. And you're a ghost. Let's be ghosts together. Oh yeah, la la. So that was the sensual tones of Udo Kier, German actor, part musician as well. He did a song back in the 80s called Der Adler. Check it out on YouTube. It's a bit weird, but yeah, you might know him as Ron Camp in Ace Ventura and many other films. But he's a bit strange looking, and I think he was in a video with Madonna or something as well. Anyway, so the backstory is there have been an increasing number of reports made of supernatural goings-on at a local art school, and you've been called in to investigate. On arrival, you're given a tour of the studios by the school's owner, Udo Kier, who provides you with accounts given by witnesses who all claim they've been indecently touched by an invisible presence while operating the pottery wheel. After further investigation, the ghost reveals itself to you. Turns out it's none other than Patrick Swayze's ghost at work. It appears he's still trapped between worlds, he's very lonely, and as we know it, he has a bit of a thing for pottery, hence why people have been claiming to be molested whilst making vases. So rather than turn your proton packs on him, you decide to help him out by inviting other ghosts to join him in his eternal limbo. Ooh. So, as I said, it's a version of the Rizzler game, so each person gets assigned a different ghost that they need to guess. We've each got a total of 5 questions in order to guess it, and if you get close to that, you can ask for a clue, but you get less points. Basically, you start with 10 points, and a point is deducted per question asked, and you also get -3 points if you ask for a clue. We each take a turn to ask a question, and the person who ends up with the least number of points will spend eternity in hell.
Jesus, that escalated quickly.
Wow.
It did.
Really don't wanna lose.
It was high stakes.
Yeah. So, Gemma, do you want to go first?
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, so my first question is my ghost a man?
No.
Ooh.
Okay. Adam?
Okay. Is my ghost a man?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Is my ghost from the 80s?
Yes.
It is. Ooh, okay.
Is my ghost, is the actress, I'm assuming, are they dead in real life or not? Like,
I've no idea. Probably not.
That's helpful.
But I don't know.
She's not a very well-known ghost.
No.
Good, glad I asked.
I mean, I assume she'd be
really
credited.
helped.
I'm sure she'd be credited on the film, but
Oh,
it's
what she's
not.
credited as.
No, exactly.
Oh my goodness, what is this? Right, okay, next.
Okay, Adam.
Is my ghost a funny ghost?
There's comedy in the film.
Yeah.
Your particular ghost is a bit more of the straight man in it.
Okay.
Does my ghost haunt a family?
Yes.
Does, okay, Gemma?
Is my ghost in a horror film?
No, you wouldn't regard it as a horror film.
There's horror aspects.
Right, okay.
Does my ghost haunt people?
Actually, no. No, not really. No, he's,
No.
no.
Oh shit, ghost, my god.
He's not there to haunt the living.
Okay. Is my ghost a religious figure?
No.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely.
Right, so I've got another one. And is my ghost, is it like an iconic, 80s film?
Yes.
It's an 80s film and it's iconic.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Is my ghost also from the 80s?
No, 90s.
From the 90s.
So mine's 80s, 90s. Haunts a family. Is it a ghost in Poltergeist?
No.
Shit. I don't know why. I just had this feeling. I had this
straight
feeling.
for a guess there, yeah.
Oh, so it's me. Right, I need my clue, I think. Well,
Okay.
definitely do.
Well, basically, your ghost gives good head.
That's a big clue.
Oh, man.
80s iconic film.
Ghost gives good head.
Yeah.
Oh,
And female.
right, okay.
Yes. A woman.
Who's
right,
not particularly
oh, man.
well-known.
Nope. I
Okay.
wouldn't know her from Adam.
Is it part of a franchise, the film? Like a trilogy or anything?
Yeah. There's a couple.
So this head thing isn't literal.
It is very literal.
It is, yes.
Don't know. I'll have to think. I'll try and come up with a guess, but at the end of the round.
So put your thinking cap on and we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Okay, so Adam, you're on to your final question, are we?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
final question then. Okay. So, is my ghost in a horror movie?
No, it's got comedic and horror elements, but it wouldn't be it's like a
Yeah.
15 or a 12 or something like that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be regarded as a-
I've got 2 films in mind.
It's kind of
well, you're gonna have to
silly
write.
horror-ish.
Do you want the clue?
Yeah, could I go for a clue? Might help me.
Okay, so the clue is it's directed and written by Peter Jackson and produced by Robert Zemeckis.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
Yeah, I could give you a more obvious clue than that. But yeah.
Okay. Can I ask for my clue? Because we have to move on. Time's ticking.
Okay, so clue. The ghost is a family man.
The ghost is a family man. Ooh.
Is now a disgraced family man. Probably wouldn't trust him with your young female relatives. Or actually just any female relatives. I don't think it's specific to young.
I'm thinking of Bill Cosby in there.
Right, okay.
Is Bill Cosby in it?
The ghost is played by Bill Cosby. Can you get the movie?
I can't. I can't think of a film with Bill Cosby as a ghost. I don't know. Anyway, so Gemma, your guess. You got a guess?
He's good head. I don't know.
So,
I guess Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's a film. Yeah. Can you think of a scene that involves fellatio?
You'd think I would, but yeah, I don't remember a key pivotal scene with it in.
Well, I'm gonna have to end it there. But yeah, no. Basically, there's a scene where Dan Aykroyd's character Ray is in bed, and the ghost starts undoing his trousers. And,
I do remember that. Yeah.
You see him ease back.
He goes cross-eyed.
Pleasurable look on his face.
I kind of like I could see when you saying it. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not sure how it's credited, but it's basically the ghost that sucked off Dan Aykroyd.
Imagine being that person though who played that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Putting that on your CV.
Yeah. Have you seen my latest work? Okay, so Adam, now it's time to guess. So, sorry, Gemma, you got no points. Burp.
I can't think of one. The movie I'm going to guess, I don't think Peter Jackson directed it, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Is it The Frighteners?
It is The Frighteners.
Is it The Frighteners? I didn't realise it was Peter Jackson. Yeah. I can't try to remember any of the ghosts, though, because there's so many ghosts in that movie.
He's not there. Well, the key bit, because there are several ghosts in it.
Oh, yeah, he was the straight man, wasn't he? Yeah.
I think he's the straight man. The key clue is that he's not there to haunt the living.
Oh, yeah, he's not there to
as some of them are.
I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen the film.
Who do you know who's in it?
I can't think of any of the actors other than... I can't even think who the villain is. There's the big bad at the end, isn't there? And there's a guy with glasses on.
There's a lot that aren't famous. There's one famous person.
I can't remember.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to cut you off there.
You did well getting the
burp. Do you wanna reveal?
Well, the ghost that I had picked was actually Michael J. Fox himself, because he's alive at the beginning and he's alive at the end, but he becomes a ghost in the middle to go and get the bad guy.
He does.
And also trivia, that was his last live action feature film.
Oh, really?
Because he just did voiceovers after that.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think it's a cracking, quite underrated film.
It's a really good film.
Yeah,
I like it a
really
lot.
enjoying it.
I
might revisit that actually, because I've not seen it in years. But yeah.
So, just down to me now. So, Bill Cosby, late 80s to 90s, haunting a family, but he's a family man.
Yeah.
God,
father. I'm basically giving you the title here. He's a father and he's a ghost.
Ghost father?
It's Ghost Dad. It's Ghost Dad. Bill Cosby as Ghost Dad.
Oh, okay.
I've never even heard of Ghost Dad.
I've not heard of it.
It is a terrible movie.
Clearly, I
kind
need
of
to watch
bottom
it.
shelf in the video shop kind of film.
It is, yeah.
Well, so yeah, all three of us bummed out on that one. That was actually quite hard. Yeah, so no, none of us have won, which basically means that Patrick Swayze's ghost is left in limbo without any company because we didn't guess the ghost. So very sad.
I feel like we've let him down.
Yeah. Okay. So there we have it.
Yeah.
And I mean, should we do a giveaway anyway?
Yeah, I mean, for your time, Gemma, I feel like I've got a bit of a sore throat, as you can probably tell. My voice is a little bit hoarse, and we've got some Potter's Chesty Cough pastils here. You get 20 non-drowsy pastils, and it's effective relief from chesty coughs.
Yeah,
had you picked that brand because of the Patrick Swayze ceramic scene as well.
Oh, I hadn't, but that's a nice little link.
Yeah.
So I did. Yes.
Don't worry about it. Anytime, guys. Anytime.
But so enjoy them. Yeah,
Thank you.
they're particularly effective. Strong menthol, so go for it.
I look forward
there's a
to
lot of coughs
receiving them.
going around, so you got to look after yourself,
Yeah.
so you don't
Thank
end
you.
up on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Are you claiming these sweets help you live forever? Is that what's
That's
just
a
happened?
hell of a claim.
hey, I am
I feel
merely,
like you need to caveat.
Yeah.
I am merely an intermediary between Potters and the world.
So Potters, you now have to
Okay.
give us a load of free.
Did you just get some free
sweets.
Potters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Ooh,
Right, well, thank
got a
you.
cough. Go
Thanks,
for Potters. Yeah. Well, thanks. That we'll let you get back, and we'll spook you later.
Thank you. I'll see you
See you
soon.
later.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Right then, so that brings us to our second film and food suggestion, which is the bit of a haunted house, scary movie flick. It's the 1973 classic, The Legend of Hell House. So essentially, yeah, I mean, it's a haunted house movie. We've got a physicist and his wife, along with a team of mediums, are commissioned to visit the Belasco house, which is a well-known haunted house. Around about 20 years prior, there'd been a few mysterious deaths of people investigating spooky goings-on. And essentially, the task is to prove or even disprove the presence of evil spirits.
Yeah, and the presence of the previous owner, who was a serial killer.
Mr.
Belasco.
The 6'5" perverted, sadomasochistic, bestiality loving, murderous.
Everything, drugs,
Yeah,
alcohol.
he had his
He
finger
was a
in many pies. So
he sure knew how to party.
he did. That guy knew how to throw a party. So yeah, I mean, when this upon its release, it did get quite a lot of flack to this movie, mainly because of its similarities to The Haunting.
Oh right, yeah.
Which is the Haunting is kind of the gold standard of haunted house movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think inevitably, there are some clear similarities to it. But I think in its own right, it was pretty enjoyable movie. Pretty tense in places, not massively scary, but there's a few jumps in there. I feel a sense of unease whilst watching it.
It's one of those ones, I think, probably at the time, it was probably a lot scarier. Like, compared to what some of the films we get now, it's, the tension, the atmosphere was spooky.
We tend to...
Spooky.
Yeah, I mean, and because we're so used to scary movies these days, you get you recognise the conventions, don't you? You can see the bangs and the twists coming. Really, so
possessed cats.
Yeah, so you can kind of
already
preempt the
seen it,
scares.
mate.
Yeah,
Already
exactly.
seen it.
Yeah. Seen a few possessed pusses in my time.
Yeah, people getting raped by ghosts.
Yeah. There was a lot of sexy.
Actually, I don't know if I had seen that
going on.
before, but yeah, it was quite sexy. Yeah.
Was Dan Aykroyd raped in Ghostbusters when he was getting sucked off by a ghost?
Well, I think it was slightly consensual by the look on his face, but
yeah. I think he at first there was probably a bit of resistance, but he seemed to wasn't complaining too much. So yeah, I mean, I think probably one of the best elements of the film was actually the use of sound.
Yeah. It was brilliant
because camera work and sound are really what they had to go on to create that kind of haunted presence. It's something that Evil Dead does very well, particularly first Evil Dead. Just brilliantly. And yeah, I mean, and the soundtrack as well, really kind of freaky, uneasy soundtrack. I think that's probably the biggest strength of the film. As I say, I didn't think it was brilliant, but it was, it deserves its place there as, a classic haunted house movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was what it was, and it had all the conventions that make a spooky film, a spooky house, spooky soundtrack,
yeah,
spookiness,
spooky.
and and some dodgy stuff. Yeah, got a bit sexy. Dr. Barrett's wife. Yeah, she got a bit freaky.
I know she was. She was after it, wasn't she? She was getting rather frisky.
Yeah, and there was obviously a lot of comments on people's views on promiscuous. What's the word?
Promiscuality, can't say.
Promiscuality, and various other alities, drugs, etc. But and with the cast, I thought the cast was good. I do say that Roddy McDowall, his appearance was very comical, which kind of put me off at times. Sometimes I was kind of expecting him to do a bit of a cheeky, almost, carry on line, I was expecting a bit of when
matron.
When the Anne Barrett, Gail Honeycutt's character comes down all sexy, thought it was going to be but,
it was a bit of a bizarre performance. I mean, even the way, a great actor, Roddy McDowall, but his delivery of the lines as well was almost kind of comical. It was like really sort of creepily delivered, and it was a little bit over the top.
I think it was the fishbowl glasses really that just made him a little bit.
The turtlenecks.
But I know he's in like Fright Night and Planet of the Apes and some real classics. That was the only thing that kind of made me a bit.
Who played the other medium? Oh, it's Pamela.
Franklin. And of course, there was Pamela Franklin as well. Oh, actually, she saw. I don't know if you've ever seen the film The Innocents, which is a really good ghost film from around about the same time. She was in that, which based on the book The Turn of the Screw. But quite an intense, quite creepy one. Worth a watch.
Yeah, I thought, again, her performance was pretty solid. It was a delivery of the lines was a little bit creepy, and a little bit over the top. But
her character got punished in this.
Oh yeah, she was fooled, wasn't she? She was tricked into thinking that there was a good spirit in the household, that she was, she could help.
It was that dirty dog Belasco just wanting to have his ways.
Devious spirit. Played by, as well, as we find out in the reveal at the end. Because you do hear his voice at the start, don't you, on record. But it's played by Michael Gough, who's probably better known to most people as Alfred in the Tim Burton 1989 and others Batman. So Alfred was there, with his fake legs.
So, that was a little daft, but anyway.
Yeah, basically there was a story twist of the guy was a little bit short, had a bit of a complex over it, so decided to have
his legs chopped off and replaced with longer legs.
As you do. Perfectly normal behaviour. So a bit daft. As I say, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. It was very... It followed a lot of the conventions of horror films at that time. It looked a lot like a lot of the horror films that time. And worth a watch, actually. I thought it was a pretty decent horror film. As I said, not as scary as you used to now, but a classic. So, shall we get on to the food recommendations?
Yeah, it's your honours this time round. After and hopefully it's not got anything else that you wanted to stick in my mouth.
I kind of wish I did now, but it's not too late. With this one, I was thinking of something to kind of encapsulate all those elements of a haunted house. With this, I was thinking of a blancmange of debauchery. Where the sponge fingers are the souls within the house, and that includes the cast of characters are in there. And then with the jellies, you could have like an absinthe jelly or a really strong, different intoxicating substances, all topped off with a very indulgent cream, and you get a bit sexy with it.
You made that sound very sexual.
So basically a blancmange of debauchery.
Right.
Yeah. Some sprinkles on the top. Hi there, listener. I just felt the need to interject at that point. Now, if you were paying attention there to my description of a blancmange, you'd probably realise that I was actually describing a trifle. Clearly, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So, what I was meant to say is a trifle of debauchery. Well, now that's cleared up, on with the show.
Sweet. Yeah.
So straight into dessert.
Well, I've gone savoury.
Oh, good
for mine. But I've actually gone for a Quorn minced chili.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. So the reason being, I feel like I probably have to explain this.
And you're pointing at me as well.
Yeah, I point at you because I want to make it clear. So reason being is because I wanted to represent the deceitfulness of the spirit in tricking Pamela Franklin's character. Because really I feel like I've been deceived in that way.
Yeah.
Through the medium of food. Previously, we had a family party fairly recently, and my mum made some chili con carne. Little did I know the mince that was used was Quorn mince.
God.
She tricked me, Johnny. She tricked me into eating vegetarian option.
What kind of mother is she?
Yeah, right. If you're listening, Mum, I can forgive most things, you're my mum, but
surely that's some sort of form of abuse.
I'm in my 30s now, but I'm still kind of ring child line for that.
It's not too late to come forward. I mean, as many Rolf Harris's victims who must be about our age.
But you should really respect my my principles of being a meat eater.
Well, exactly. We respect people who are vegetarians, vegans, whatever. That's their preference. That's their choice.
Being a carnivore is not. It's not a choice.
Don't try and trick us.
Yeah.
Don't try and make us eat your food.
Yeah.
It's
So I felt like I was deceived in the same way that the mediums were deceived in the film. And
Pamela Franklin.
If it's a chili, it needs to have a bit of a kick. So I'm thinking maybe a bit of ghost chili kind of chopped
ghost
in there.
Chili.
Yeah.
Is there a thing called a ghost
chili? Ghost chili. It's like really spicy chili. You don't even want to put a little bit into it because I think it's quite high up on. I can't remember the name of the chili scale of spiciness, but it's
hot.
It's pretty darn hot. Yeah. So Quorn mince chili con carne, spiced up a little bit with ghost chili.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. So you can have yourself a debaucherous blancmange, or a deceitful Quorn chili, and indulge in a 70s classic horror film.
Yeah.
Shall we move on? Okay, so once again we are here, this part of the podcast, where we're inviting Pablo in for another film not to eat food by. So Pablo, are you there?
How do, gents? Yes,
howdy.
I'm fine and dandy.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, you feeling good?
Yeah, good. I've been spending most of the day setting up an elaborate wire system just on this back road, which is often frequented by joggers around my way.
Oh, right.
So it's got a little bit of inspiration from the film I've been watching today, but I'm just setting it up for the early morning jog tomorrow, and ideally it should just be one flick of the switch, and we should get a little bit of swooping kind of what would you call it? What's that set? The things you cut cheese with?
Oh yeah, the cheese wire thing.
Cheese wire, yeah.
Oof. I tell you what, that's why I don't jog. There's too many risks such as that. I think I once ran into something once and knocked my shin. Can't remember.
Yeah,
fence or something.
Yeah, but shin splints and being sliced in half by a big cheese slicer.
Ooh, yeah, shin splints are
pretty common.
Awful. Really awful.
Pretty common. Mo Farah's a brave man. So he faces that on a daily basis.
Well, that sounds pretty nasty.
Well, I mean, I like to take a little bit of influence from the fact that I believe the man who popularised jogging to the world died of a heart attack in his early 40s. So don't think it's necessarily good for you. And if in some way I can put people off ending the life early by jogging, then if only as a cautionary tale that is whispered to other joggers to stop them stepping out. Then
I'm all for that. Once again, you're exercising your social conscience. So,
providing a service in a way.
Like I say, it's the skunk pussies, the street trash, the joggers. Much like my idol Travis Bickle.
Yeah, with the Nike Airs.
Yeah, with their Nike Airs and Graces, more like it, Johnny.
Yes.
Can't let a pun go wanting.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, well, shall we? Do you want to bring your film offering to the table?
If you're gonna spew into this.
Why, yes, Johnny and Adam, today's film is the 2002 classic Ghost Ship.
Ooh, that is a classic.
It's something it's something that most people are aware of. One thing I didn't realise until after watching and doing a bit of digging, and then after I'd buried a few people, went on to do some research on this film. I found that it was an American and Australian joint production, so it's kind of got Australian people and references. There's like say I forget the girl's name, but she went on to do Sucker Punch and did a film Sleeping Beauty, which is quite a good, peculiar film, all about a woman who gets paid to basically get knocked unconscious and sleep with men and women, I believe, as well.
It's not actually Sleeping Beauty. It's
I suppose it's a play on it in some way, but it's called Sleeping Beauty, but it's not. It's definitely, don't put it on for your kids. It's not a there may be some variation there. I would assume the certification alone would make people realise it's probably not going to have any multicoloured fairies and what have you.
So what about this film? This one, this Ghost Ship.
Well, Ghost Ship is mostly known, I would think, by people. You know how I do like to hit the ground running with my gore quotient in a film, and Ghost Ship doesn't disappoint. It's very quick within the first 5 minutes to, I would say, inspiring my jogger trap.
The old cheese wire.
Yeah, there's a kind of a cheese wire setup where there's the ship of this crew, I believe it's in the early 60s, are having a dance on the top of the deck, and there's it seems to be kind of focused around this young girl who's a bit bored, and she gets to go up and have a dance with someone who appears to be the captain, and then you see all this kind of mousetrap type shenanigans going on, where you can see this woolly this pull and this wire sticking out, and then all of a sudden it all clicks and pangs into action, and people just get sliced from right across the middle. In some cases it's straight across the middle. Some cases it's just the top of the head.
Depending how tall they are. Yeah.
The little girl survives. She survives for that moment. But yeah, so there's a nice bit of gore straight for the offing, where you've probably got about 40 odd people, all just
nasty.
Yeah, and everybody. The good thing with it is it happens with such speed that there's a good 5 seconds where everybody's standing around just looking really confused. Before,
do you feel okay? Did something just slice through my lower abdomen?
Well, that's it. So you get a couple of good points. I'm assuming purely for comedy, one fella his trousers fall down. It cuts straight through, but and then his body kind of dissects.
There's that woman, isn't there, who's kind of reaching for the other half of her torso, almost a bit like, oh, my legs.
It's still good. I
can sort this out.
There's yes, and I believe the captain, when he goes to say something, it's revealed that obviously he's been cut from across the mouth, so as he's about to open his mouth,
hate it when that happens. It's always when you've got something really important to say as well.
Yeah, and from there it was basically there wasn't really a huge amount of gore from there. There's the odd jump and scare, and essentially it's this ghost ship. It jumps to the present day or whatever day it was, 2002, I suppose, where there's a crew who do salvage for vessels lost at sea and the like, and this gentleman, a Mr. Ferryman. That may or may not be
Brian
relevant.
Ferryman.
Yeah, I love his hits. But yes, he basically approaches them. Jack Ferryman approaches them for a job that he's some sort of Canadian pilot who's seen this ship whenever he's passed through the Bering Strait, and it's a massive ship, and maybe they should take it on, and to work out that if it's in international waters, it's free to salvage. Anybody who gets it can get whatever's on board, and it's definitely worth a punt. But it's a ghost ship, don't you understand? It's a ghost ship. Apparently it's a term for a ship that does just sail on without crew. I believe there was that rat ship for a little while. That was I don't know if that was urban myth or fact, where there was that ship by I think on the Australian coast that was full of rats, and they didn't want to do anything. I think they just sank it in the end because all the crew had abandoned it. It was just basically generations and generations
like
of
rowing,
rats.
drinking the rum.
Well, we've all seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Splinter is the wisest of them all, and he's a rat.
He'd be the captain of that ship. Yeah.
And I never quite understood the mutagenic side of his, because he was just a rat. Who anyway? I won't go into Teenage Turtles.
Oh yeah,
That's not
like physique. Yeah, I'm with you. So I mean, I think we've all seen Ghost Ship at some point in our life. I can't remember anything other than that opening scene.
Yeah, same here. It feels like that opening scene from memory was the most impressive part of the entire film.
Yes, and the opening scene, aside from the young girl who goes on to star in a few things of note as of late, it's all pretty much non-famous people. It's kind of the incidental who will be the ghosts of the ghost ship. But the surprise to me, I'd kind of forgotten who was in it, but you had Gabriel Byrne was in it, Carl Urban, aka Judge Dredd, aka Bones, probably a few other people as well I can't think of, and Julia Margulies, or Margolis, I think she goes by, but that's how it's pronounced, who's the she's the good wife, and she was in ER. She was the nice Hispanic doctor from ER.
Should have stayed on the ward. Anyway. But,
well, not giving too much away, but to be fair, she is the only one who survives, really. So fair play to her.
Just shows how much I was paying attention. I must admit, I think for me, that film, 2 words, ghost shit, was my. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah, you're stealing Pablo's review.
Not even.
Well, I must say I was pleasantly surprised. I did remember it being very poor, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But it definitely has there's a kind of a plot point which this ferryman character. But yeah, there may be some sort of demonic element to it, which. I suppose obviously it's paranormal. It's all about ghosts and ghouls and whatnot. But I think there's a certain plot point which, as I say, it doesn't. It seems a bit forced, and I don't know if it's necessarily. It just kind of jumps out of nowhere. But hey, if it works, if there's any way to justify a bunch of people getting chopped in bits, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose for that opening, rewatched that opening on YouTube recently, and it was quite entertaining. So
around that period, there were quite a few films, because it was very Final Destination-ish, wasn't it? That kind of opening scene, something was about to happen when you saw the kind of the wire start pinging, and something was about to go down. But there was there's a few films around that period, like early 2000s, that were pretty much gore fests.
Like the Cube we talked about last time.
Cube and 13 Ghosts.
Steve Beck, who directed this, also directed 13 Ghosts, which, as I say, may have been more the gore fest. If I remember correctly, I do quite like that film. There's quite a lot of visceral injury in that one, so that's also a good one to watch. But he also was the visual effects art director on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, so possibly, I don't know if there's any kind of inference that can be taken from there, from the look transferred over, but it's and also works out on the Abyss as the effects art director as well. And The Hunt for Red October. Not that I'm reading Wikipedia or anything like that. I would something anyway. Yeah, but he's got a bit of experience with ships and sea and stuff
and ghosts.
Bit of nautical experience.
So what would be your rating then?
Well, I did enjoy it more than I thought I would, but as I say, it didn't really have that extra oomph of gore. There could have been a lot more for what it was. I mean, when it happened, it was good, but it's not the 20s, for heaven's sake. Let's let our free flag fly. I want to see as much gore as possible if it's going to be in there. So for this one, I'm going to give it 2 clumsy MacGuffins out of 5.
2 clumsy MacGuffins. I like it.
Yeah, so not great, watchable, I suppose.
Definitely watchable. More. I was when I decided on it. I was quite. I wasn't quite looking forward to it, but it did kind of pass on. It kind of. I wasn't aware of the time as it was passing. It was a jolly little romp.
But will it make you think twice about the next time you ride the ferry over to North Shields, between Shields and Tynemouth, or?
Well, yes. Whenever I'm on any kind of nautical vessel, but I'll just make sure I stay below deck where there's no kind of bindings, wire, otherwise it could come loose from its couplings and hinder me in twain. But yeah, I think automatically I'll probably just not do any nautical salvaging. I didn't think there was probably not much chance of it in my future, but I know that if it ever does come up as an option, I can kind of go no chance.
It's like, do you want to go for a jog? No. Do you want to go on a boat? No.
Well, that's it. Or there could be multiple rewards for doing this type of work, as shown in the film, but it may be cursed.
Well, if you want to see multiple people being cheese-wired simultaneously, give it a go.
Cheese board of human limbs. Yeah. Be good food recommendation, actually. Cheese board.
What, a person cheese board?
Person cheese board, yeah.
What do you think of that,
Pablo? Cheese board.
More a smorgasbord, or antipasto, antipesto, whatever.
Sure, cannibals probably have something like that. We'll get together and indulge.
But yes, as an alternative as well, as is my want, I know most people have probably already seen Wolf Creek, the Australian film of the kind of backwoods man, what you call it, the outback fella in a truck type of thing. But a lot of people haven't necessarily seen the follow-up sequel of that, Wolf Creek 2, where they've kind of weirdly turned him into a kind of almost like a Freddy Krueger type character. Not at the start, but essentially he's almost like a comedy-ish character.
Right.
Whereas obviously in the first Wolf Creek it was kind of done as serious as possible, but he's kind of almost like an Australian anti-hero now, kind of like a very bad Ned Kelly type of thing. But it's I've really enjoyed it. I may even revisit it at some point later as a main review. But certainly definitely a recommendation for you out there.
I didn't realise it was a sequel.
I remember seeing one come out, but I never got around to watching. I did enjoy the first one, actually. I did think it was very good.
Yeah, well, it's the original guy. Of course, not the other people. So it's all there's a very good, if I remember correctly, there's a very good scene where he takes umbrage at some police officers, and it's one of those things where you kind of know something's going to happen, and he basically says, if you apologise now, nothing will come of this, and you think nothing of it. They drive off, and they've been driving for quite some considerable distance until you hear the whistle and the glass break and the eye pop of a rifle from a long distance. He's quite a good shot, this Australian fella.
Well, yeah, he probably spends a lot of time in the outback just shooting things, I guess. But anyway. Sorry, that was rubbish.
I was trying to quietly clear my throat. I've got a bit of a sore throat today, Pablo.
Let me say that a little better than. Well, yeah, I guess if you lived in the outback, you probably would spend time shooting things.
You're either going to be shooting things or making campers squeal like piggies.
Yeah.
And police officers through the back of the head via the orbital socket.
Yeah.
Or just making love to a wild animal.
Beautiful, beautiful wild animal.
Yeah, and again, Johnny, you've brought in making love to wild animals just out of nowhere. I'm starting to worry about your predilections.
I think every episode has had some element of bestiality, some reference.
It's just for fun,
That won't stand up in court.
Tell that to the poor animal.
Yeah. Hey, at least I don't make furniture out of people or what was it, pubishams and the like. That's
purely making use of the materials that I have at hand.
And to be fair to Johnny, that sheep's never going to testify, is it? So pretty.
I may well eat meat, but I equally will wear possibly a leather coat, maybe some sort of I don't know, leather trouser. Much in the same way that I'll wear a human man suit.
You don't see any differences. You don't discriminate.
We're all cattle, Johnny. We're all cattle.
Yeah.
True.
It just sometimes you've got to work out whether you're the shepherd of the flock or the butcher of the herd. I'm pretty sure I know where I stand. So do you get those jumpers I sent you? Those white woolly jumpers.
Oh, those jumpers.
Oh yes, yeah, they were lovely. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was going to wear it, especially for this right now, but
it's August.
Yeah, it's in the wash. Had to put it in the wash.
So it's a bit wrong time of year probably to wear it, but I mean, appreciate the thought. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I hope you appreciate the. I mean, they're quite bright. I mean, it's just as long as you wear them when you're out and about, so I can identify you from a distance.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll make sure to do that.
Yeah, I'll make sure to wear one next time I go jogging.
Or yogging,
which I'll be doing tomorrow at 2.
2 should be good. 2 should be good.
Nobody believes you all should be jogging. Never going to happen, is it?
No. So yeah, I'll
see
you there, Pablo.
It works. If the fear of jogging, it works.
Yes, but no. We'll have to return the sentiment someday.
I'll knit you a nice scarf or
maybe for Christmas.
Tea cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I took a few things last time I was round anyway. I'm surprised you didn't notice, but
yeah.
When I was round. No, I've never been to your house, have I? No, not when you've been there.
I'd noticed a lot of my pants had gone missing the other day. But...
yeah, I mean, I've probably got to go. So yeah, don't change your locks.
Sorry, don't change the locks. Yeah.
But actually, no. I tell you what. Yeah, I know it might make you feel a little bit. So yeah, if you do want to change your locks, but use the same locksmith you've been using.
Okay.
Is that fella with the big beard?
Yeah. He's quite a suave looking fella.
I know. Well, that's a bit of a strange ending to this segment. So yeah. All right. Well, we'll bid you adieu then, Pablo.
All right. See you later, lads. See ya.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Stay
all right, look
safe.
After yourselves.
Bye.
I'll find you. Bye.
Bye.
So that brings us about to a close of our paranormal themed episode of Food to Watch Films By.
Yeah.
And before we do, we've got another, I would say a listener recommendation. This one's coming from more of a notable name, really.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a celebrity interaction here.
Yes.
Yeah, so do you want me to read this one out? So, I mean, if you listen to episode 7, you know that we had a bit of a wrestling-themed episode. One of the films which we reviewed was the John Carpenter classic They Live, starring Rowdy Roddy Piper, and also damn fine actor by the name of Keith David. Yeah. And Keith David's reached out to us and he's actually offered his food suggestion,
his recommendation.
Yeah, for They Live. So here we go. Keith, our pal Keith, my new best mate, K-Dog. So he suggested a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos. Gotta love those. Those are his exact words. Gotta love those.
Oh, what a guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guy. Brief recommendation. But if you imagine it being said in the voice of Keith David, that would sound pretty cool.
No, I'm totally there with him, and
Cool Ranch Doritos.
And I'm gonna take him up on that recommendation.
Yeah.
And I could just do with a bag of them.
Yeah. I'm more of a cheesy kind of guy, but
Go
with a Cool Ranch. Yeah. So thanks, Keith. Thanks for that recommendation.
Yes, we love you.
We salute you.
Yeah, indeed. And so if you've got a recommendation, a film and food recommendation, or you've got a top 5, or you just want to get in touch with us, you can tweet us at FTWFB podcast. We've also got a Facebook page as well, and an email address that I can never remember.
Yeah, but
it's something like FTWFB podcast, whatever, Gmail something.
.org.
Yeah, find us. Yeah. Or of course you can. If you want to reach out to Pablo as well, is at Pablo Bonzo, on Twitter, and on the dark web.
He's got a strong presence on the dark web.
Yeah. So that brings us to a close. And whoa, Adam.
Whoa.
I can see a light.
What?
Can you see a light?
It's so beautiful. What do I do, Johnny?
It's happening, Adam.
What?
You can go now. You can leave this world.
Well,
you can finally.
I'm scared, Johnny. I don't know if I'm ready.
Move on. Move into the light, Adam. Is it heaven? I don't think so.
Oh my God, Johnny.
Let's go, Adam. Go. Let's go. Everyone's here, Johnny. Go into the light.
They're all here.
Go into the light. Gaddafi?
Savo.
What?
They're all here.
No, don't go.
Welcome to Great Green.
No, I really don't think you should be going there.
No, John. Oh my God, John.
Adam.
This is so light.
Uh-oh. Oh well. We'll see you next time. Ta-ra.